Welcome back to digital class, and this is a discussion for our reproduction in plants and animals booklet. And now let's look at this question together. So here it says that Susan records the characteristics of fruits W, X, Y. As you can see, W, X, Y in the table below. So now we need to identify what are actually the methods of dispersal here. So the first one here, you can look W for W. It is edible, yes. It is juicy and fleshy, and it is bright red only when ripe. So by looking at this edible, juicy and fleshy, you know that it will actually attract who to eat? The animals, right? So this you know that is actually animal dispersal. So the method of seed dispersal is animal. So next one, X. For X, we know that it is edible. It has fibrous husk. Okay, now, I mean, if you see this word fibrous husk, you know that it is actually with the function to trap air so that the fruit can stay afloat. So we know this is water dispersal. Okay, and the next one, characteristics of fruit Y. So for fruit Y, as you can see, it only have wing-like structure. And you know that wing is for you to fly, right? So in order to fly, you need some air. Okay, so we know this is air dispersal, or I should say wind dispersal. Okay, so with these three, we know we can answer the questions below. A. What is the likely method of seed dispersal for fruit W? So for fruit W, as we know, is animals. Okay, so seed W is dispersed by animal. So the next question, B. Describe how being juicy and fleshy help the seeds to be dispersed further away from the parent plant. We know that being juicy and fleshy, this will attract animals to eat the fruit. And what happens is after they eat the fruit, now we know that if it's a smaller seed, it is with indigestible covering. So after swallow, it will be passed out in their dropping. But if it's big seeds, it will be just thrown away. Okay. So the seeds, depending whether it's big or small, the seeds will either be thrown away or pass out in their dropping out in their in the droppings after they have actually go to a certain distance. Okay, after some distance, after some distance, and that's basically the explanation for this part B. Now let's look at the next part of the question. So diagram 1 below shows the seed dispersal pattern of one of the fruits above, and as you can see that parent plants is here, and we have different young plant here, 1 2 3 4 5. So and you can see the young plant is following the flow of the river, and we know this is what, this is actually the water dispersed by water, right? Water dispersal. Okay, so what is the likely method of seed dispersal of fruit shown above? You know it is by water. Okay. But they're asking, give a reason for your answer. Why do you think it's actually water? Okay, we know it's by water, but why? Because we know it is actually scattered, all the seeds or the young plant are scattered following the flow of the river. So we can explain in this way. We can say because young plant growing along the river. Okay, and we know that if you want to further explain, following the flow of the river also can. Okay, now let's move on to next part. Based on the information from the diagram 1, okay, this is going to be D. Based on the information from diagram 1 and the earlier table, which fruit X or Y has the seed dispersal pattern shown above? So we know this one is water dispersal. So which one is the one that actually water dispersal? And we know it's X, right? X, water. So we know this is X, fruit X. Fruit X. But the questions continue to ask to explain your answer. We are asked to explain our answer. How does this actually able to be done? So you need to explain that this fruit X has what? Has what? If you look above here, explaining we have this fibrous husk, right? So we must explain. We have this fibrous husk. But how does this help? This fibrous husk actually able to help us trap air, which allows or which helps the fruit to stay afloat and be carried away. And be carried away by the water current or by the river flow. Okay, by the river flow. Okay, and we know that as long as it reach a place, it will slowly grow from the place. Okay, or you can say that, and the fruit or seeds will germinate there. Okay, or along the river. Okay, or you can just write along the river. Along the river. And that is basically the whole part of the question. So again, it's very important for you to know the characteristics for each fruit or seeds for with their method of dispersal. So you're able to explain the function and to explain how all these things works. Okay, and that's all for this question. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.